So the Buffalo Bills had a golden opportunity to go to 6-1 on the season, which would have been for the first time since 1993. They had a pretty tasty home matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles, a team pretty decimated by injuries. However, they could not get it done, and here's 5 reasons why. Going on, Patrick Moran here, host of the Moran-Alytics Podcast with some exclusive audio content for this YouTube channel. Not going to hear this on my podcast or anywhere else for that matter. Before I get going, please hit that subscribe button down just below, that little bell right next to it, so you can get notification when new audio content is released. Today, we're talking top 5 reasons why Buffalo lost to Philly on Sunday. And without any further ado, let's just get the ball rolling. Coming in at number 5 is the Bills' red zone defense. Philadelphia had 4 trips to the Buffalo red zone on Sunday, and they scored touchdowns on 3 of them. The Bills are an offensively challenged team. Okay, we're 7 weeks into the season, 7 games into the season, 8 weeks overall. And I think that's pretty clear. I think it's a pretty safe assumption to say right now that the Bills are challenged offensively. I won't go as far to say that they stink, so we'll just say challenge. Knowing that this defense, which has been good this year, okay, I'm not going to take that away from them, but they need to be better in the red zone. And that's something that they have struggled to do. This is not an offense that is going to score 24, 27, 30 points on a regular basis. So it's critical for this defense, even if they're going to give up plays and yards, that when they get inside their own 20, that they clamp down and force the opposition to 3 points. And that's just not something that they've done well this year. Opponents have now been in the red zone 18 times and have 12 touchdowns. That's a 66% touchdown rate for opponents in the red zone. That's not good enough. And again, against Philadelphia on Sunday, especially true. 3 touchdowns, 4 red zone trips, not good enough. Number 4, Carson Wentz playing like Carson Wentz does. Now look, not spectacular by any means, not 2017 MVP candidate Carson Wentz, but 17 of 24 for 172 with a touchdown. Also, just like Josh Allen tends to do to opponents, he also hurt Buffalo with his legs. In fact, that one drive in the fourth quarter that I consider like the put-away drive in the fourth quarter, he ran for twice for a third down conversion. Big plays. Once he kind of shook Shaq Lawson, took off running, picked up a first down. A couple plays later, next third down, ditto with Trent Murphy. So he was very effective with his legs. Again, 37 big yards on the ground. Most importantly, 0 turnovers from Carson Wentz. That's important, man. You know, the Bills, the way the offense is playing, the way things were going, they needed to produce a couple turnovers on defense, and they got none on Sunday. I'm not going to say that Carson Wentz was spectacular and that Josh Allen was the worst quarterback in the history of the NFL on Sunday, but there was a big difference for sure. Carson Wentz very clearly outplayed him, and that is a reason why Philadelphia won that game. And here's number 3. Speaking of Josh Allen, that fumble before the end of the first half was the swing play of the game. That was critical. Here's the situation. It's third down, 2 yards to go. The Bills got the ball at their own 28, minute 53 left in the half, just coming off the 2-minute warning. And Buffalo's up 4. They're up 7-3 at the time. 3rd and 2, and Brian DeBall dials up a quarterback sweep to the right side. Hated the call. I hated the call the second I saw it, but anyway, more on that in a minute. Allen takes off. He gets hit by Brandon Graham, who played a very good game, by the way. Was not going to get the first down, and he fumbles. Philadelphia recovers the ball at the Buffalo 24, leads to a Carson Wentz touchdown pass, 2-point conversion, and bam. The Bills go from being up 7-3 to down 11-7 with just 25 seconds left in the half. Again, terrible play call, and more on that in a second, but Josh Allen has to hold on to the football. That's the end. At the end of the day, I don't care how bad the call is. I don't care how much pressure he's under or anything. Hold the ball. That's got to be your first thought. And this was the pivotal point of the game as far as I'm concerned. Allen, by the way, 3 fumbles. He lost this one. If he stopped, worst case, he gets stopped at the line for a loss. They don't get the first down. They punt into the wind. And very, very likely with Philly going into the win with less than probably, a minute and a half or less, they probably Going to the locker room, Buffalo up 7-3. Instead, they're down 11-7. I felt that was a turning point of the game, and I'm not sure that Buffalo ever really recovered from that. Number 2, sticking with what I was just on when I said Brian Daboll, I thought his offensive play calling and game plan in general on Sunday was just terrible. I already talked about that play with Josh Allen. What about a critical point of the third quarter, too? The Bills struggled to run the football, but there was a point in the third quarter where they started getting it going. Frank Gore ran for 14 yards on 2 consecutive plays. One was for like 8, another one for 6. So instead of continuing to mix that up or having Josh Allen, maybe fake it to Gore and take off, they like to do that. No. Next 7 Buffalo Bills plays, all passes. It nets them 0 yards. 0 yards on the next 7 plays, which were all passes. They got turnover on downs because they were into the wind, and it was too long. It was like a 47-yard field goal for Hashka, so they went for it on 4th down, and then the next time they got the ball, they had a 3-and-out with 3 ugly Josh Allen passes. Don't understand why they completely went away from the run when it was finally starting to work. To me, that's on the ball. Also, Devin Singletary, don't get me wrong, he had a couple drops, a little shaky out there, but he's a talented player. He scored a touchdown. You saw what he could do. Only 1 touch in the first half. That's all I had. That's not enough. Cole Beasley, who I thought would have a really good game against Philadelphia, especially with some of the guys out in the secondary. And again, the win where you can't sling the ball 35, 40 yards on the field with any timing. I thought he was in line for a big game, and he scored a touchdown, but he wasn't utilized nearly enough. All in all, just a terrible game plan for the offense. And one more thing about the game plan and the offense. If you're going to scratch Isaiah McKenzie, if you're going to make him inactive and you're going to use Robert Foster, shouldn't you actually use him? I thought, okay, Philadelphia secondary, decimated. Foster's playing. They're going to go deep. They're going to try to go over the top. They didn't try. I don't even think Foster had a target. McKenzie could have made something happen out there. He's one of those gadget players, little reverse, little trickery. Get him out in the slot, make somebody miss. He's quick. He's fast. Again, the conditions kind of dictated to me that should have been a good game for McKenzie, but he didn't. He sat in the press box while Robert Foster played. Now, that's not, obviously, Brian Daboll's not the one who makes the final call on that, but I'm sure he has some input into the game plan and who should be out there or not. So it was just a terrible, terrible day for Brian Daboll. Before we get to number 1, don't forget to subscribe to the Moran-Alytics Podcast. Brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Coming up on Tuesday's episode, I'll be talking with Aaron Quinn from Cover 1. We're going to deep dive into this Bills-Philadelphia game. I'll also have John Scott from Spectrum Sports on as well. Apple, Google, Spotify, links to all those subscription links in the description down here below. The number 1 reason why Buffalo lost to Philly on Sunday, and I don't think I'm uncovering any big mystery here, the run defense. It was abysmal. Gash. How about gash? That's a better adjective to describe the run defense. 218 yards allowed on the ground. Very big reason why Philly was able to possess the ball for over 35 minutes on the road. Jordan Howard, man, God, he was a bully out there. He just bulldozed his way to 96 yards. I'd love to know how many of those 96 yards came after contact because he was just straight up running people over out there. Miles Sanders had a nice coming out party. Couple big plays in the first half, and then the 65-yard touchdown really opened things up early in the third quarter. Again, the Bills defense kind of bullied, man. And Tremaine Edmonds, 9 tackles, 1 for a loss. Those stats are deceiving. So what? He was constantly getting mauled out there. And don't get me wrong, I'm a Tremaine Edmonds guy. I like him like most of you. He has a lot of talent, elite athleticism, but let's start to pump the brakes a little bit on calling this guy a future or especially a present elite middle linebacker because he's not. All right? He can track you down with his speed. He's good in pass coverage. He can make plays, but he's got a long way to go in the run defense game. Guards, centers, maybe even fullbacks or tight ends, they get their paws on him in that second level. He is struggling big time to get off blocks. Not his fault by any means on an exclusive level why this run defense has been bad the last 2 weeks. I'm not saying that. But he has a part of it. I mean, it's in between the tackles where the Bills are getting killed right now in the running game. And I'll tell you, everyone has the Bills trying to go out and get themselves a wide receiver before Tuesday's trade deadline. Nah, I think they'd be way better served to go out, find themselves a run-stuffing defensive tackle because I'm going to tell you, Star Lodolay, he ain't it. He's not it. Not solely his fault, nor, again, is it solely Tremaine Edmonds' fault. It's a collection of guys. Safety's not hitting the right gaps, linebackers. It's a lot of people going on right now, but it's an area of the defense. It's becoming a weakness right now, the run defense, and it needs to be addressed. It does. Good defense as a whole, but not good in the running game, and it's really, really starting to leak. So that's the number one reason why Buffalo lost this game as far as I'm concerned. That'll do it for this. Got anything to add? Leave it in the comments. We'll have a conversation. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.